Hello and welcome to How to Pixelmon, where you learn how to take your favorite Pixelmon in the game and make them even more effective and better in combat. Today, we're going to meet with the star of the show here. His name is Poliwrath. Yes, as you guys probably know, you can do multiple things with Poliwrath. You can always use a water stone and evolve him directly into a Poliwrath, turning him into a water and fighting type, which is very cool. Or you could, now that there's the update 3.0 out, you can trade him with a King's Rock and turn him into a Politoed. Now that is a completely different option altogether. It gains a different set of stats and lots of other moves. Well, not entirely a lot of other moves, but a different idealistic move set. So let's just show all these beautiful Pokemon real quick. Everyone get out here, come on and play. Alright, now we see the regular and shiny Politoeds here, and we see the regular Poliwrath. But now we're going to evolve this Poliwrath and take a look at what it looks like as a Poliwrath. Because that's what we're going to be looking at today. There's multiple ways to set up Poliwrath and multiple ways to set up Politoed, because their best stats are quite different on both of them. So let's watch as he evolves. Dum 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 da dum dum dum. Ooh, actually I haven't seen this yet. It's a really nice green color. I like it. Or maybe puke green, depending on what your preference is. Let's see. Ooh, I like that. Anyway, let's go into the movesets, shall we? We're going to start by taking a look at this Poliwrath now that it has evolved. Actually, for example, let's take a look at this one first. As you can see, it has the stats of... It has a lot of attack, defense, and special defense, so it's good in those aspects. So what you're going to want to do to facilitate that attack power, you're probably going to want to give it an attack-based nature, or perhaps even a defensive one if you would like to build it up like that. In this example, we would say give it an attack-based nature, and then we could train it with physical moves such as Body Slam and Dynamic Punch. We could also have Hypnosis on it, just as a cool ability to have separately. And unfortunately, the thing with Poliwrath is it cannot learn any physical water moves, so we'd be forced to teach it a special attack. This is why Poliwrath would definitely be potentially good as built for a solid tank. It has a very good base special defense and special defense, well, reasonable, and then you could train those up to be higher and make it a very effective tank Pokemon. That way, you still wouldn't have as big of a gap between physical attacks and special attacks, so you could still do a reasonable amount of comparative damage by your Scald or Hydro Pump if you choose to go in that direction. Now let's take a look over at Politoed here. He learns a strictly special attack moveset, because he has better special attack than attack. In this example, it's only a little bit higher, but trained up properly, it would be given much more special attack. It also has better special defense, so you could train it up for just the special things. You could train it up for special attack and HP. The only thing with these two, they don't have a very high base speed, so I would not suggest training them up as a fast hitter. I would suggest training them up to be able to take a hit and then deliver one right back to their enemy. The moveset I have on him is Blizzard, Hydro Pump, Ice Bomb, some very good hard-hitting abilities, and Mud Bomb to a lower accuracy if you would like to, and of course Hypnosis. So then we're going to look at, our last Poliwrath here, the shiny example. Now we have a very interesting move setup that I actually just recently discovered, being a Wake Up, Hip Slap, Hypnosis, Belly Drum combo. Now with this type of setup, if you attack and use Hypnosis originally, you could crash the server. Anyway, what we have here is this combo we are looking at. What you could do first is use a Hypnosis ability to put the enemy asleep. Then, you could potentially use Belly Drum, which unfortunately will cut your own health in half. Yet, it will increase your damage output for your attack stat by quite a bit. And if the other Pokemon is still asleep, which most times it will be after the first turn of Hypnosis, you'll be able to do that without worrying about yourself getting killed right away. And then finally what you would do is use your attack move, Wake Up Slap, which has 60 power, and it does double amount of damage on a Pokemon who is asleep. So this is where the Hypnosis comes in, and the Belly Drum would obviously increase the attack on that. Also, if you had an ability such as a a cell battery that has previously increased your attack, then that would add to that as well. This could mean you have a very powerful wake up slap in turn for the enemy, and it could be very effective if used correctly. But this is also very dependent on luck of hypnosis, making sure you hit the hypnosis and making sure that it stays on the opponent. Now we're going to take a look at the natures here. Of course, on a Poliwrath, if you want that attack damage, you're looking at Adamant, Naughty, Lonely, or Brave. If you're going to train it to be more defensively, I would of course focus on getting either Adamant or Brave, because those lower both the special attack and the speed of it without lowering the defense stats. And if you would like to train it tanky, which would actually be a very good setup for, say, a combination with the Dizzy Punch, or I'm sorry, Dynamic Punch, this would confuse the enemy. You could also put the enemy to sleep. You could really and use Body Slam to paralyze the enemy. A lot of different ways to slow the enemy down, so it would be very effective to build a tanky Poliwrath. And you would want to do that with a sassy or careful nature, or relaxed or impish, depending on if you want to focus on physical or special attack there. Now, on a Politoed, you would definitely want to facilitate that special attack. So you would want to give it a modest or quiet nature that would give it reduction in attack or speed. But you could also give it a mild or rash nature. This will also reduce the defense and special defense of the Pokemon, which I think is definitely something to be desired in Politoed. I believe Poliwrath would be a slightly more efficient tank overall, just because the moveset on Politoed can be a much stronger attacker, but it could definitely be done either way. I would personally train a Politoed for something such as health and special attack, when I would train a Poliwrath for health and defense. That way it would be a bit more tanky. Now, when you look at the held items to give to these Pokemon, let's take a quick look at the moveset of our Politoed. It has some moves with some low accuracy here. We have 70, 85, 60, and 80. That gives us great reason to give this Pokemon a wide lens. This will ensure that those attacks hit more often and give you a much better chance of victory. Now also, you can look at the Poliwraths and look at Hypnosis. It's always worth having a wide lens on to ensure that attack. On this one personally, its other attacks are 100 accuracy, so perhaps not. But on this one, you definitely would want that, so you can have better accuracy on both your Hypnosis and your Dynamic Punch, which are known for being unreliable. But if you have a little bit more reliability to that, it'll make it a more effective Pokemon in general. Of course, you could give a choice item to the Pokemon if you want it to be a more specific attacker. I'd say this would probably be more effective on a Politoed, seeing as it can do some stronger attacks with a little bit more special attack damage to it. Or you could put a Cell Battery on the Poliwrath, considering it's a physical attacker, and it'll likely get hit by electric moves. And if you do build it tanky, then it might just be able to survive an electric attack. Also, of course, Shell Bell on a tanky one would always be good, or Metronome on a high damage one would always be good. So yeah, that's definitely the differences between that. I think if you want to use the Wake Up Slap combo, it's a little tricky, but if you get it working correctly, it would definitely be effective. That, or you could just make a hard-hitting Politoed or a tanky Poliwrath with both Hypnosis and Dynamic Punch. Now the thing is, to evolve Poliwrath, you use a Water Stone. As you can see on my examples here, on the first one, I waited until a very high level to evolve him. Therefore, I got Wake Up Slap, and you could potentially get Hydro Pump in this case. When you evolve it to a Poliwrath at a lower level, you get Dynamic Punch. Unfortunately, there's no way to get both Wake Up Slap and Dynamic Punch on your Poliwrath, so it's really a choice you have to make for yourself, whether you want it to have a combo more like this or a combo more like that, obviously with the variable moves changing up a little bit. So you can do that, and with a Politoed, what I would suggest doing is evolving at a very late level so you can get Hydro Pump on it. This one doesn't have any moves on it, but this one, it gets Hydro Pump at a late level as a Poliwhirl. Then at that point, you can go ahead and trade over, and you should be able to TM any other moves you want, which in this case would be Blizzard. So I believe that's going to be everything on these two Pokemon. Once again, it was two Pokemon that are very similar in evolution cycle, but very different in practice. So hopefully you were able to enjoy that, and maybe plan to use one of these on your team in the future. If you've liked this episode, please leave a like down below. It would be much appreciated. And leave in the comments what Pokemon you would like to see next. And we will see about getting that on a future episode, as all these latest Pokemon have been. So thank you all for watching. Me and Politoed will see you next time. Not really, you'll be gone. I'm sorry, you're fired. Yeah, that's right, turn away. And yeah, we'll see you guys, so goodbye.